So Jeskai, Yorion. Are we the baddies? Yes is the answer to your question. So, what are we blinking? We've got Omen of the Forge, Omen of the Sea, Charming Prince, Skyclave Apparition, Omen of the Suns. We got the pretty typical Elspeth Conquers Death here, but then we've also got the new card, Showdown of the Skalds. So don't you love when your draw 4 can get blinked by your Yorion to draw 4 more cards, chat? We're also playing 4 incredibly cheeky copies of Alrund's Epiphany here at the top end of our deck. Make 2 burbs and then take an extra turn. And then we've got a couple of Alrund, God of the Cosmos here. When it comes into play, or at the beginning of your end step, choose a card type that reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Put cards the chosen type revealed this way into your hand. This also could be a bird early on, so it can play defense. 2/3 for 2 with flying, and when it deals combat damage to a player, return it to its owner's hand and then scry 2. So you don't really feel bad about playing this out as card advantage as a blocker early, because you can hit your opponent with it and then bounce it back to your hand later, scrying and fixing your draw a little bit instead of letting it be a piece of card advantage later. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. Tag Beansy on Discord. What happens if you blink a double face card? It comes back in as its sprint side. We're missing a color, but I'm on the draw and I have a scry 2, so let's give this a try. Sweet Beansy. My favorite Aphelios deck so far. We played Aphelios Draven out of the way today, and it was fantastic. It was really good. I should update the title. Sure, yeah. I should just stop putting deck names in the stream title like everybody else. That way I don't have to update it when we change decks. There's our red source, perfect. Yeah, crafting Gargoth's a pretty reasonable use of a wild card. Mythic's hurt, but it's a card that's playable in a lot of things. We're probably playing this as a land this game. Do I want a Narset? She'd take 3. Draw a card, you may discard a card, deals damage. I guess I could Narset kill the Woestrider. I don't hate that. Let's Narset kill the Woestrider. No, I think all of my opinions in the patch notes are the same, Artisan. The new cards are sweet, the actual changes they made are kind of bad. I also know that it's basically the first day of Runeterra's new format, so like the format's going to be fun regardless because people play brews at the start of a format. So it's more like what does Runeterra's format look like a week or 2 weeks from now, as opposed to what does it look like the day after when people are still trying new things. Orvald ate the goat. There's only 13 sideboard cards. There should only be 14 because one's the companion. can kill this by killing Narset. Do I trade Narset for Korvold? Oh, on the Sultai deck. I have no idea then.
Then act.
We'll just do that. Oh, the Sultai deck definitely has 15 cards on the board. Hope you're enjoying your Throne of Lies. I like to draw 4 cards, please. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are these good, chat? If so, why? Please explain. Value. And now they have the Conqueror's Death staring them in the face, so they can't realistically play anything that gets exiled by Conqueror's Death this turn. Oh, I probably should have played this on the white side, huh? A little short on white mana at the moment. Yeah, they're just drawing a card. Makes sense. Oh, I needed the red to play the... I could have played this as a red source. I should have played this as a red source so I could play this as a white source. Right. You're technically correct. Even if in actuality... Even if actuality it's kind of wrong. So if we find an untapped land in 4 cards, I get to play Yorion, blink Yorion, kill this. I don't know how the opponent's archetype just like ever beats a Yorion deck. Like whenever I play these decks against the Yorion decks, it feels like it's just an unbeatable matchup. Perfect. Finally got some weight so I can work out during the pandemic. I'm telling myself to do 1 set exercise every time I get land screwed / flooded. I'm going to die. That sounds dangerous. Triggers. It's like not even really an above average Yorion. It's like solidly just an average Yorion. It's like we blinked 5 things. All right, sure. Play a card. Good luck. Aren't extra turn spells fun, chat? Do you think this is fun for my opponent? Do 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 It's probably a giant killer matchup, right? They've got Croxa, and they've got what's this called? The Saki dude. What's a foretell? A foretell is basically, it's kind of like playing a spell on layaway. You pay 2 and you throw it off to the side, and then it comes at a discounted cost later. Saki Dragon. Yeah, that's his name. Saki Dragon. Probably a Doomskar matchup, too. What do we want to get rid of here? Trim the omens, maybe? BDP, thank you for the 31 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, it also exiles it face down out of your hand, Bob. Definitely can't cut Mimic. We don't have the lands to do that. And trim on each of these. Yeah, like Charming Prince smooths our draws too, which is nice. Yeah, this is fine. We get to fetch a, this is blue, we get to fetch a red. Turns out today isn't Sunday. It is not. Alright, and now this can be a second white source. 2-7. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the channel. Duress away. The artwork on these pathways is so beautiful. That explains why we took my Conqueror's Death. Alright, well now we're just digging for another Conqueror's Death, right? Oh wait, I have... This just... Alright, deal. I don't have double white here, but we will in a bit. Kill this before they get the goat. Non-land permanent. It's so gross. Goodbye to your card that could have beaten me. Bye, friend. And like, if we draw another brick next turn, we put Yorion in hand. We can blink these. Discard the turn spell. Man, remember when you could just play this on 5 and not pay any extra mana? God, how did just thinking about some of the things that got through playtesting is just, it's wild. It's just wild. They don't play test. That's not true. Stop it. Stop it. They do too play test. Don't be dumb. You could likely say their testing doesn't seem sufficient, or they're testing, however they're testing, they're doing it in a way that misses a lot of things. Both of those things would be accurate descriptors, I think, of the last little bit. But the idea that they simply don't test is just wrong. I mean, that's a free roll at this point, right? Alright, we're at 7 mana. This is Explore plus make 2 1/1s. Oh wow, they're escaping that instead of Croc, so that's so good for us. I'm gonna exile the Bone Crusher, chop down the Woe Strider, play the Giant Killer. What is Fire? Fire is an acronym that Wizards of the Coast use to describe their current design philosophy. Oh, I messed up. I should have chopped first, right? So they couldn't sack this. Mistake on my part. I guess not having the Giant under here means that if I draw another Yorion later, I can blink this, which has value. I'm going to hold this land in my hand, so that way if they play a Kroxa next turn, I can discard that and keep my call. Yeah, Fire stands for fun, inviting, excited, and replayability. I think that sounds right. Fun, innovate, something, some mixture of those words is accurate. Now, I'm pretty sure Paul Cheon works in play design, or at least that's what he was hired for originally. How do the flip cards work? You basically just get to play either side, Bob. The upkeep, stop to sack things to scry sounds good. So instead of having like flip conditions, they're just modal cards. They're great. Like this card, it's literally just a land sometimes, or it's a spell in the late game. They're easily the best designs Magic has had in the last 2 decades. You could complain about a lot of these designs that they've had, but like, no joke, these are objectively the best thing to happen to Magic. That objectively is the wrong thing to say. In my opinion, they were the best thing to happen to Magic. There's a lot of angry neckbeards out there that will complain about them. But I will disagree with them vehemently. Hey, I'm glad you liked the Mono Black Snow deck. I sent in yesterday. I wasn't able to see it live, but enjoyed it and how you tweaked it later on YouTube. I went the opposite direction I did for a Dream Devourer to the main, and that felt powerful. Yeah, I think that could be fine, Blue. I appreciate the bits. Gian is esports talent manager. Okay, sure. So not play design. I appreciate the fact check. So, Skyclave is lethal, right? We exile that and then hit them for 7. Yeah, I feel like the Venn diagram of people who hate spell lands and people who hate the London Mulligan is probably a circle. Let's shift topic though. Let's not talk about them. People that hate change and hate things that are good for the game are a big part of what makes Magic not fun. So let's focus on the good things and just be excited that we could. Nah, companions were a little bit different. Companions weren't just a variance mitigating mechanic. Both the land spells and the London Mulligan are variants mitigating mechanics. So they fall mechanically different than companions. Sagas are great in general too. I think most people think sagas are great. I don't know that I've ever seen. I think sagas are good and sweet is a pretty uniformly. I think you could probably say that's a uniform opinion. I don't really know that I've seen anyone complain about that. Must craft cards for the new set. Not really, Ninja Turtle Jr. There aren't really any just like super busted cards that go in everything. There's a number of cards that go in a variety of different things, so it depends on what you want to play. If you like 4/4 flying haste dragons, the gold span's real good. The lands are good. Yeah, I always forget about the lands are a gimme. I feel like when people are asking for must craft cards, they know that the lands are a must craft, and it's redundant to say them. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. See, I actually fall on the opposite side of the coin of the Planeswalker discussion from a lot of people. There's a lot of people who hate Planeswalkers in general, and I think Planeswalkers are awesome. I also think Planeswalkers highlight humans' inability to describe things accurately. So the complaint that you frequently hear about a lot of Planeswalkers is that Planeswalkers aren't interactive, which is bullshit and objectively wrong, because Planeswalkers are the most interactive card type in Magic. You can interact with them via combat. Now, you could definitely make the argument that some Planeswalkers are too hard to kill, or their mechanics make it so they protect themselves too well, but the Planeswalker card type in general is objectively very interactive. It's way more interactive than enchantments and artifacts and even creatures. Yeah, I think you could say a lot of them are overtuned. I would agree with that classification. But that's something that we've talked about a lot, where like people frequently tend to be bad at describing the thing they actually dislike. And they go to that card game players' knee-jerk response to anything they don't like is thing I don't like isn't interactive, which is just very silly. All right, so got a couple of choices this turn. If they don't have a land, they can't escape this because they're on basic planes. There's a good chance they have a land to escape this, though. I kind of want to go Riverglide, Glass Casket, one of these, play a 2/3 bird, and then we can Yorion blink the Glass Casket to tag the Croxa later. I think is the play. Kenobi, thanks for 19 months. Welcome back. 2 Wizards of the Coast credit and the design team's credit. I actually think Planeswalker designs are something that have drastically been improved in the last year and a half to 2 years with Fire design. To call out something good about Fire design, I think Planeswalker designs have been greatly improved under it. Like, take, for example, the 5-mana Vivian that's currently in Standard. Like, that design's really great. They've found good ways to break that 5-mana Planeswalker, card advantage up, removal down, ultimate wins the game. And they've broken that mold that they previously had outside of War. No, there were a ton of good Planeswalkers inside of War of the Spark. War of the Spark and Planeswalkers are just, again, another example of humans refusing to not group things together. Like, the Narsets and the Teferi Time Ravelers aside from War of the Spark had a ton of great Planeswalker designs in it. Not to get Ember Cleaved. It's like a lot of people have this really stupid opinion that like Planeswalkers with static abilities are just bad, and that's not true. And again, I'll point you back to 5 mana Vivian from the most recent set being a great example of a Planeswalker like that. Like, that's great. Yeah, so I actually think based on War of the Spark, what we learned from War of the Spark is something we should have already known. And the thing we technically learned from War of the Spark, chat, is that what we learned from War of the Spark is that prison cards suck. So if you look at the Planeswalker designs from War of the Spark that were offensive, they were all prison cards, right? That's what it comes down to. Like if you list off all of the Planeswalkers that were really bad about War of the Spark. I mean, I'm actually, for the record, if you're coming in late, I'm not even complaining. I'm not even just saying War of the Spark design is bad. I'm talking about the good parts of it. Ooh, that's fair. That's fair. Five mana Nissa is something of an exception in that mana doubling tends to be something that's also not great. So that's a different thing. That's not necessarily tends to be offensive. I would give you mana doubling should get lumped in with prison effects and something that should be avoided. Yeah, I agree with that. Until 3 mana Teferi was everywhere, I actually really enjoyed War of the Spark Standard. When people figured out that card was stupid, the game's got a lot less fun. Yeah, letting I don't know that strictly cheating on mana never ends well, but doubling mana definitely seems to never end well. There's also a important nuance to note there that doubling mana and cheating on mana are 2 different things, right? So I elected not to scry at my upkeep this turn, because if I scryed, I wouldn't really have mana to cast any of the cards I was scrying with anyways, so I'd much rather just like draw. If I draw a good spell, play it, and if I draw a land here, we can scry 2 twice at the end of their turn. Yeah, three mana Teferi as well as Uro are a big part of why Standard is the only format that I'm playing since I've come back. And Standard's great. I'm having fun. I'm glad I poked back into Standard. It's been gas. Huh? Do I just take Skalds here? I'll be able to Conqueror's Death the following turn? Yeah, that's probably fine. I think we just wanna draw 2. Sick. Two 2 mana cards is like kind of best case scenario. I get to Glass Casket, and then I get to Charming Prince, blink Yorion. So we draw 4 more cards too. Like I said, I don't know how any of the mid-range decks, like what my opponent is playing, are competitive in this format where Yorion decks exist. I don't know. No, just don't see them. So now, to be fair, I don't get the Glass Caskets until their end of turn, but I get to blink Charming Prince, and then I get to use Charming Prince to blink Yorion again to blink Skalds again. This card seems real bad so far. I'm gonna board like we boarded last time. It's the same matchup, basically. Stacko, thanks for the follow if you're still here. Hey, it's a username I recognize. Oh. You're already a moderator, it is. I remember some. Did we buy the Alrunds, reopen with wild cards? I don't know. I don't keep track of that. Lotus, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Almost afternoon in the cornfields. Favorite Magic card of all time? Spellstutter Sprite. I have a framed copy of that one. No red source, but we've got a lot of looks. I don't know why I thought that was made noopsie. That's fine. Hopefully this scry works out. Mitch, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Is Nessian Wanderer the card that draws you lands? Because if so, no. The card that draws you lands is great. I think you could try Charming Prince in that deck in general if you wanted, but I definitely wouldn't cut the card that draws you lands. I got a bottoms up here aggressively. Are we doing an AMA now? I mean, streaming on Twitch is basically like always being in AMA mode if you're actually interactive, right? My channel tends to be very interactive for the folks who are in chat. Not a red land, but also a good draw in the face of Seasoned Hollowblade. Grab second white on this pathway so we can Doomskar down the line if we miss on lands. Winota is still standard legal. Playing some Winota decks is on my list of things to do next week. They printed a new 5-mana human that landfall makes you creatures and gives everything 1/1. Yeah, Winota's banned in Historic. She's not banned in Standard. They just like filling up their graveyard so they can Croxa me. That's aggressive. That is super aggressive. Like, Village Rites is the last card? No blocks. Not giving you Crocs of food. If temporarily stop playing my Winota deck in EDH because managing the critical mass of tokens I make is difficult over a webcam. That's kind of funny. Thank you for being a responsible adult that cares about others in society and playing Magic via webcam during the plague times. We did skillfully hide the sweeper from duress too. I think the plague times will end this year. Yeah, if vaccine distributions look like they're gonna keep going in the direction they've been going, I imagine. Hey, imagine, I'm hoping that I'll feel comfortable sending my kids to school this fall. We might get buried here. Between the Skalds and the fact that we bricked on lands, I think we're gonna die here. Disney World is technically open. Again, good on you and thank you for being a responsible adult and putting it off. Their Disney World is open dystopian commercial is real awful. And I have to imagine the types of people that are going to Disney World at a time like this are exactly the types of people you don't want to be around right now. Well, I mean, yep, I'll just stay in there. Yeah, like I feel extra bad for people who are wait staff in restaurants right now, because the types of people that are going out to eat right now and dining in are exactly the types of people that you're like the Venn diagram of people who are going to be an asshole customer during normal times and the people who are going to dine in while COVID is going on. I'm confident that that's a circle. That is a very Karen dense demographic. I've had 3 family members tell me that as a waitress, everyone's a dick and they're tipped less per person as well. Yeah, I would bet that on average they tip less too, because the types of people that they are. I found out why MTG is trending. Yeah, MTG trending on Twitter is an overlap of my worlds for sure. As a kitchen manager, it's a circle. Yep. That doesn't surprise me. For people that aren't familiar with why MTG is trending on Twitter, it's because those are the initials of the QAnon congresswoman from Georgia. Who, by the way, I learned something new that always reinforces everything that I've known. The QAnon congresswoman from Georgia is independently wealthy. Because the 2 types of people in the Republican Party are wealthy grifters and fucking idiots. And in her case, it appears to be a little bit of both. Each player discards a card. I think we're ditching the Omen here. It's close though. I think I need the Skalds to try and find a land for this. Not hitting the land naturally here feels real bad. I don't know, it's hard to tell when it turns out that a person like that is wealthy, Brightstar. I feel like it becomes much harder to tell if they're a true believer or not. Yeah, I guess it's right to trade for the Shade. That's fair, because they could have made us sacrifice it if they wanted to. That's a good call. I should have traded for the Shade to keep my life total up too. We just want to try and make this game last, basically. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year, Snapcaster. Yeah, that's a good point that Rankle could have made a sacrifice anyways. I should have taken this trade last turn. I'm 3 life lower than I otherwise should be. It's a good catch. You can only foretell from hand. For reference. Oh no! Oh no! Yikes! Well, missing the land drop was definitely the death of us. Woof. Alright, so that's how we can lose. That's how we can lose that. Got it. Mana Screw's a heck of a drug. That's fine. That was our freebie, right? It was our free one to give up. Oh, I could have mimicked the Skyclaves. Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good call. Alright, so maybe we weren't dead there. I forgot we could mimic our Skyclaves. That's a good call. That was a land in my head. My mental shortcut had put that into the land pile. Sure. Hand's not amazing, but definitely seems like it's in the range of keepable. That's a good addition. This Narset with Emeria's Call is kind of sweet, because you're basically discarding a land, but still getting to kill something. The way I build my decks assuming my spell lands are lands usually. Usually I put them in the land slots. So in my head, all of these are lands until proven otherwise. Mana Screw in your 37 land deck is very, not really. It's an expected outcome in a significant number of games. Never really need second red in this deck, right? I'd rather have more blue mana. We want to go ahead and murder this Bone Crusher Giant.
I strike with a cunning mind.
You know, Omen's probably not very good here. Let's spin that, actually. Yeah, it's a fine finisher. It's just very much in the land slot. Oh, you know what? If I'd have kept that, I could have picked Noodle up plus played it this turn. These cards count as their front side everywhere except when they're on the stack or in play as their backside. Or just Conquer's Death thing here. Previous split cards that are both, that's just objectively wrong. Other split cards are their front side everywhere except when they're in play or on the stack.
I know when to concede.
Aftermath cards are both, those aren't flip cards, those are split cards. And I don't even think that that's like an actually technically detail. Like, flip cards and split cards are very functionally different. Yeah, those are both on the front side of the card. Oh, very different from previous split cards. Okay, yeah, split and flip are different. When you said split, but you were using it in the context of a flip card, so I assumed you were talking about this style of card. So, for reference, we've had cards with things printed on both sides of them before. This is not the first time we've had that.
Whether friend or foe, state your intent.
Wow, her emblem is awful.
Enlightenment begins within.
I'm actually incredibly glad that doubled face cards are becoming a normal stock part of Magic. I think there's a ton of design space they can do with those. I really hope land split cards become something we see return again and again and again. They're fantastic for the game, in my opinion. No blocks. D. Lorminer, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel like Delore there, I'm here doing Magic stuff for a few hours every late morning to early afternoon US time. You can find my schedule here up on my website. We're going to focus primarily on standard constructed for my time playing, for sure. Definitely prefer constructed to other formats in this game. So we're 1 mana off of being able to do this now. We'll foretell this, and then we'll gain 2 life.
Is merely the result of practice. Many paths lie before me.
So this card, you can only split between 2 different creatures, chat. So they killed an angel in Narset, and it's Planeswalkers too, yeah. X got doubled, so they did 6 and 6. Because at 6 or more, it gets doubled. So the opponent did not make a mistake. Alright, they're dead to my extra turn spell, right?
Breathe in. Exhale.
Let's move cardboard live. Let's put it over on the left side. Probably better. Extra Doomskar is probably good here. Giant Killer seems great here. Narset seems pretty bad. They're likely a questing beast deck too. This seems really slow. Honestly, I could see Ox being okay. It's just like an okay stat line that plays to the board. Does that crush the weak matchup? This could be a crush the weak matchup. Having lots of ways to kill Innkeeper seems good. I don't love any of the other cards. Do I want to fit the second crush the weak in? I don't think I want the second one, but the first one seems better than the rest of these cards that are up here. Draw white source, huh? You have blue into red, can kill an Innkeeper. We draw some white mana, this hand's pretty good. Yeah, I'll be streaming the tournament on Saturday on a delay, Logan. I'm playing in tournaments the next 2 weekends for Magic stuff, and they'll be streamed on a delay for both of them, I believe. All right, chat, 37 lands later, almost 50% of our deck is mana. Hi to you too, Mr. Wilson. Thanks for dropping off some of Jeff Bezos' money. I appreciate it. Well, poop. Yes, you can only play foretold cards at the speed that the card has on it. So it has you have all same timing restrictions. Listen, chat, Jeff Bezos isn't going to make any less money from Amazon not being exactly the CEO. My understanding, the position that he's changing to simply allows him less public visibility and accountability while having a similar, if not more amount of control. Think of it as Vladimir Putin creating new offices for himself so he can remain president, even though there's a term limit on the president there. Think of it like that. Scry me a river, baby. There's democracy in Russia again. Putin got below 110% of the last vote. Oh, it's funny because it's sad. Since we drew this land, I'm going to go ahead and fetch a tap land here so we can Omen or Skyclave on 3. Have double white, so we'll get a blue here. Wow, no play there is real good for us. Oh, well, that was technically a misclick, but probably won't matter. I'm gonna do this because it means the Brushfire Elemental with Fabled Passage will let them play Great Henge next turn. I'd prefer that not happen. Step on me, daddy. Oh, yeah. Opponent knows just what we like, chat. Thanks for the follow, RK. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. We want to scry here. Ooh. Alright, we're gonna keep both of those. And then next turn we Omen into we're gonna Omen on their end of turn, and then we'll Omen into Yorion, blink all of them. Alabama Jack. Thanks for the follow. Alright, Chad, if we can dodge a cleave, we can dodge a ball. And chump block here. I want to keep Charming Prince around, because Charming Prince blinking Yorion down the line is real good for us. Alright, don't cleave me, Poppy. Don't do it. Have a heart. Just play a Great Henge or something I can outgrind. Yes, no cleave. Red Hot Chili Player. What a fantastic username. What a fantastic username. The great sky noodle hath blessed us with its noodly appendage. Ha! Do I think we keep both of those? What in the world is in their hand? I have no idea. It must just be like all mana, right? Oh, I should have attacked with everything so then I could have killed the giant. Yeah, I would have gotten 4 damage at worst, right? Definitely should have attacked first. They could also just be holding threats back around the sweeper, but... Oh, why not blink the prince? Because I'm dumb. We're talking and clicking at the same time. Was it good for you, opponent? It was good for me. I got there. Extra turn spells, the perfect thing for the selfish Magic player. And like, this is why, like, stuff like Ox, like, I really feel like the axis of these decks trying to grind with what our deck is doing, isn't correct. Like, I really feel like they're just supposed to be cleaving us. Like, these games that go long, them being cute and, like, drawing their extra cards, like, it just doesn't matter, because, like, what we're doing goes way over the top of what they're doing. Our deck has been sweet, I agree. See if it can drag us up into Diamond, huh? Yeah, in order to keep up with, like, what this deck is doing, you can't just be drawing cards, you have to be playing counterspells. Like, I think Disdainful Stroke is the single best card you can have against our deck. We just want to attack their mana here, huh? Actually, Narset sounds great, right? We can Narset murder this. We'll discard the Glass Casket.
Victory is just another puzzle.
I hope they ban Uro sometime this year. I would like to poke at Historic again. I think that could be fun. Bind her up.
Not my plan.
You know what, chat? I ain't even mad. Ain't even mad. This is fine. One could argue this is even good. Ideal even. Mill 2, draw 2. Yeah, I mean, I wanted lands, right? That's exactly what it was. It was mill 2, draw 2. Historic is at a point where I'm playing Cage main deck in my mono red, by the way. Yep. I just want you to know I appreciate comments like that because they validate my decisions. Screw it. Let's put this bird into play. Our dig through time drew a dig through time. Yep. I get a decent amount of game 1 concedes from sack and pyromancer, so I go game 1 cage. Yep. I believe it. Oh, they had Yorion. They had Yorion in hand. I should have Skyclaved their binding because of their Yorion. That was a mistake. There's Sky Noodles looking at us in the face. Really? You killed my Showdown of the Skalds? Sure. I will not get 1/1 counters. Got me. I have to play this, I'm gonna lose it otherwise, right? Well, I mean, the good news is our deck's gonna have a lot of gas in it. Dr. Phil, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. You know, it's funny, I was thinking we'd play a few more matches before we start God of War today. And this might be our last match, right? Like, there's a chance this match takes us another 40 minutes. Did I play a land? I did. I played a land off the previous Skald. Got me. Oh, that's why they probably killed the Showdown, right? Oh, this is adorable. Wait, Yorion can blink other Yorions? This doesn't say non-serpent, it's just non-land? Usually they template cards that blink to not... Usually they template cards that blink to not be able to blink each other. Someone asked me why I wasn't considering a Yorion deck for Saturday's tournament, and this match exemplifies why I'm not considering a Yorion deck for Saturday's tournament. These decks are definitely good, but I definitely don't want to sit there and do this all day. Six rounds of this, or 8 or 9 rounds if I top 8, does not sound like a good time. Blitz, thanks for 19 months, by the way. Welcome back. So we're looking for an extra turn spell at this point, basically, right? Yeah, man, imagine playing this on your cell phone. There's no way you don't time out the best of 3 on the cell phone, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Coma's a problem. And we kind of went through an unreal number of cards without a Conqueror's Death, huh? This is indestructible, chat. So I can Doomskar for 3, and then I can call. Chat, if I casket the Serpent, they just sack it in response. Don't be silly. So we are dead to a single removal spell here. Coma is okay. It's fine against counter spells. Like, I would like to remind you that this is a game where I'm halfway into my deck and I've not drawn an Elspeth Conqueror's Death. You also have a window where this card gets killed by Giant Slayer or other instant speed removal before it makes a Serpent. So like, Coma is definitely powerful when it goes unchecked, but it's kinda, it's not the end all be all. I feel like the mix of counterspells in the sideboard are wrong. Not having any disdainful strokes for the mirror feels real bad. Coma can technically sack Yorion. That's true. That's true. That's fair. Because this is a Serpent, but Stonecoil Serpent is not. It's a good catch. I'm gonna cut Narset. Narset makes sideboarding easy because she's really bad, so you just cut her. This isn't even really good against the Elspeth's Nightmare deck, right? And just exile our graveyard. It's not amazing. Hey, Making Z, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. What's the real difference between 85 and 88? A number of percentage points on the lands you're going to draw for the game. No, there's a classification difference between snakes and serpents if you look it up. I think serpents have to do with water or something like that, if I recall correctly. My pants are great, thank you. I think we just jammed this, right? Draw some cards. What a year it's been. Google has to say, when used as noun, serpent means snake, whereas snake means legless reptile of the suborder serpents with a long, thin body and a fork-shaped tongue. But Google seems to think they mean the same thing. I believe that too. Thanks for the entire year. So they played a thing out into my Conqueror's Death here. Seems loose considering I was going to lose the Conqueror's Death otherwise. I guess this makes me use the Conqueror's Death instead of blinking this, but that still seems good for me. Guess this really isn't going to get any value here, huh? Spell for now, it seems fine. Drip pineapple juice on my sweater, chap. It's no good. We just throw this in the corner for now. I don't think I want to commit a bunch of mana into counter spells potentially. Start your first Invisalign tray this week. Just wear them as much as you're supposed to wear them. Whenever I would go in to see my dentist, your trays have wear markers on the sides of them. She would always seem impressed that I actually wore them like I was supposed to. Which I assume means that a lot of her patients didn't. Which is weird to me because it's not cheap, so I can't imagine paying the money to do Invisalign and then like not doing all of everything they recommend. People pay for gym memberships they don't use for years. To be fair, Invisalign is a magnitude more expensive than that even. Like for reference, my insurance covered $1,200 of my Invisalign treatment. I still paid over $3,000 out of pocket. Teeth aligning is not cheap. I think I just start jamming Sky Noodles, huh? Next turn we'll start jamming Sky Noodles, because I can start jamming Noodles whilst holding up both of these. Just gotta work through these disdainful strokes eventually. Oh yeah, stroke me, daddy. Usually people buy me dinner before they do that, but for you, I'll make an exception, goths. This card seems incredibly bad, chat. Like, incredibly bad. What if I, like, cut this card and I put a good card in my deck instead? Would that be legal? Why does it seem bad? Because it's a 5-mana card that doesn't do anything the turn it comes into play, and it just, like, it very sporadically generates card advantage. Like, they're like, resolving a 5-mana play in a matchup like this should be something that's very, very good, not just like, okay, it died to their thing. All right, I think they're dead though, right? Because that land is my 11th land, so I get to do this, blink this, and I get to double time walk here. I'm attacking for 6. This puts them to 8, and then I attack for 8 and they die. Alright, good time, good time. Taking extra turn spells, chat. Still stimulating for both players. Still stimulating for both players. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Boo-doo. Boo-doo-do-do-do-do. Caw-caw! The raven crows, nevermore! Nevermore! When is it your turn, opponent? Nevermore! Nevermore! Do I want these Doomskars? I probably don't, right? Ox seems better than that. I'll put one Narset in. Put an Omen back in. It kills the ramp idiot. Maybe I'm supposed to cut the... This deck seems sweet. I feel like I just want to cut the bad cards from it, though. I think we'll probably do that after this match. We'll cut this silly 5-drop, and we'll probably see if we can replace Narset, too. She's kind of mediocre. Hand has 2 lands in it, but none of them make white mana, so this seems like a mulligan. Well, I mean, if the last game is any indicator, this hand's probably fine. Oh no! Oh no! They pulled back the curtain, chat, and they exposed the hand we kept. You're not supposed to know what my shame looks like, opponent. Definitely big hand sucks keep energy. We've got Glasspool Mimic here. Wonder how many viewers we actually have right now, because my Twitch has been stuck showing 972 people for like the last hour. So I assume it's bugged at this point. 952 for you. All right, look at that. Good stuff. I see different numbers for people in chat. It must be stuck at, who knows? Everybody could be stuck at different numbers. Not that it matters. Alright, they have a Cosmenia exiled. Let's see if she can generate card advantage to keep up with my Skalds and my Yorions here. Am I even here, chat? Who am I? What do I mean? What am I? Manifesto, thanks for being here. Thanks for the follow. I'm sure I'm about to say this, that we're gonna get beat to death by this card this game, but yeah, I don't think this card's very good on average. A lot of the time, this card is a big old pile of do nothing. So Raugrin Triome gives us a second red for this down the line. We're like pretty far off of doing anything with that, right? If I play this, they could Yorion blink this. I think I'm just playing this tapped and playing Omen here. Hey, Murox. Thanks for the prime. There's a lot of great people you can ship those Bezo bucks to every single month during Twitch. Thanks for sending them my way this month. I think I'm on the chump early and often playing here. They have 18 minutes on my clock. They have 17 on theirs. Not at risk of timing out here, so that's nice. Ooh. Choices, demon. Alright, I would like your finest Elspeth Conquers Death, please, deck. That's rude. Okay, I'm excited to play this card. Oh, you know what? I should have played this tapped. I'm excited to play this card and have it do absolutely nothing again. Yay! What a great 5-mana play! So powerful. Much wow. Crimson Ghost, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Down to 16. Yeah, it doesn't even block on this board. Sweet. We did in fact board in an answer to that, so that's nice. My body is ready to get negated. Didn't get negated. Fist pump. Baby steps, baby steps. Alright, put 2 more cards in the bottom of my deck for me. Oh, we drew a card! We drew a card! Yes! My 5-mana card cantripped. It did the thing. You drew 5 cards, kinda. Sha! Hit him with the pocket sand. What's up, Noxious? Good afternoon. We're playing Alrund here to get us in the mood for Dad of Boy after this. Gotta get the Norse mythology going so we can appropriately play some God of War. Boy, listen here, boy. Do you think Alrund refers to Giant Killer as boy? I feel like Alrund refers to Giant Killer as boy. Is Dad of Boy after this match? I might do one more. Might do one more. Let's say Thursday. And Christy I have a hard stop at 3. Yeah, this will probably be the last match with this one. We'll talk about things I would change and why after this. Stroke me, baby. Stroke me. Stroke me and whisper sweet nothings into my ear. Man, we are incredibly bad at drawing Elspeth Conquers Death in this matchup, huh? I feel like these games would have gone, this game and the other game we lost the set would just be very different if we had managed to draw Conqueror's Death. Well, you know. Are we sure it's in the deck? Yeah, there are definitely 4 copies. And we've scryed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards to the bottom this game. So 6 cards to the bottom, so we're 30 or 29 cards into our deck with that one. Not scryed technically, but missed on Alrund. Coma's actually not that big of a deal. Vornclicks is the card we couldn't beat here. Can they cast this and still hold up Disdainful Stroke? I think so. It's kind of scary. I don't know that we beat the Stroke here. Stroke, like I said, I think is the single best card against the deck that we're playing. It's very, very good. This play is scripted. It's the only one I can make. Wow, that happened. Okay. They had the ability to counter this and just chose not to? Is that what happened there? Yes, Giant Killer is on an adventure. This card's triggered how many times? It's drawn 1 card? Oh, we shuffled the other ones back in. Yeah, I guess the fact that we shuffled in a bunch of non-enchantments didn't help with the Fabled Passage, but still, like, good lord. I mean, yeah, the card's not playable if you're only naming lands. Yeah, each different card you have in exile that you can cast for whatever reason has a different glowing aura around it, I'm pretty sure. Magical Dexter, thank you for the 13 months, by the way. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Vornclicks is lethal, right? Yeah, it's hasty. Yeah, if this would have been a playable card, I think we would have won this game. Like, just, like, closed our eyes and picked a card out of their sideboard that would have been good. Alright, let's talk about what this deck is doing and things I liked and things I didn't like. As far as Yorion value piles go, like, it's got a lot of good cards in it, right? Like, Elspeth Conquers Death plus Yorion plus some Omens is playable all on its own, regardless of the details. Showdown of the Skalds with Yorion is genuinely powerful. Charming Prince felt like a great mix-in. The cards that stood out to me as things that were replacement level and bad, like Narset and Alrund, were both cards that were just pretty terrible. I don't know offhand what you want to replace these with, but like, I feel like if you replace them with just like any other playable spells, your deck would probably be better. These are obviously things that like sit here and generate card advantage. Maybe there's other, what are the other planeswalkers in this format? What are planeswalkers? Oh no, I filter by card type. Luca's not very good. Nico, to set a low bar, Nico's probably better than these. You'd probably just play some Ugins. Yeah, actually, Teferi doesn't sound unreasonable at all. I don't hate this card. I don't know that you want a lot of them, but like a pair of this seems like it's probably fine. Elspeth can be escaped or blinked for more value. Nah, she's not particularly good, I don't think. I don't know that you really need extra ways to gain life and stuff, so... yeah, I don't know. I would do something else with these. Maybe there's other creatures you could play or something like that. But these cards were definitely underwhelming. The Elrund's Epiphany, I feel like the other thing to comment on here, Elrund's Epiphany felt genuinely good. The Ravens from this card in conjunction with Yorion Sky Nomad in the air allowed us to close out games from positions that we were otherwise not winning. Like this card felt like our Embercleave, for lack of a better term. It was our like, surprise, we won the game and you weren't expecting us to win card. So it did a good job at doing that, I think. Oh, yeah, I would definitely play some Disdainful Stroke in here. I don't know what mix of negates and disputes you want to get rid of, but I think at least 3 strokes is what I would want to play on the board. Can we make it banned? Now, I think Showdown and Omen are both good cards worth playing. I think you could build a different deck that has Bant as well, but I do think both this as cheap removal and Showdown are cards that are doing things that are reasonable. So, I think just being in red for, like, these 2 cards, honestly, Crush the Week's probably pretty reasonable in a lot of spots as well. Seems fine. Like, something else, too, like, getting rid of these, talking about the Teferi, like, putting the 4th Doomskar in the main is probably something worth doing. You could even just, like, round out your copies of the Omens, right? Like, you don't even have to, like, add other cards in here. So, like, that's, like, what if you, like, go up an Omen, and then, like, put 2 Teferi in here? I think that's what I would do. I would do this, and I would get, let's cut 2 disputes and put 3 strokes on the board. That would be my recommendation. You don't need Raven form. You play good cards like Elspeth Conquers Death. Don't put bad cards in your deck. Play more good cards, you'll win more games of Magic. Honestly, Giant Killer was impressive too. I could see playing more copies of this too. Like having 8 ways to be able to take Thorn Clicks off the table seems valuable, because like Thorn Clicks turning off both your sagas is a big mess.